gentlemen. What's good? What's good?
Ladies and gentlemen.
We got a crew here tonight.
Big sheesh, big sheesh.
We got DJ Too Scary on the Foley effect.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Producer Lounge, episode 29.
29, wow.
And again, just like last episode, this only happens once. So, be grateful, okay?
Yep.
We are a music production podcast, folks, brought to you by Always 400. That's why there's a 400 on the wall.
Correction, we are the music production podcast.
That is also true.
There aren't any others.
Nope.
Not any good ones. Yep.
That's right, Kenny.
Yeah. Yeah. Hank.
Or whoever the fuck.
Yeah. Does he even have a podcast? I don't know if he has a podcast. He might.
It's basically a podcast.
Twitch, live streaming, basically.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
I don't know.
podcast.
Probably just uses it for Counter-Strike.
Who live streams on Twitch?
Losers,
Nerds.
yeah.
Absolute nerds. Anyways, our guest today is our good friend, Doctor.
Oh, shit, that's me.
Hey.
Go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience of 378 people.
What's up? My name's Dylan. I'm a blood type A negative. Just kidding.
Really?
I really don't. No, I have no idea.
I was going to say me too.
Yeah, we could have been blood brothers.
We were actually just talking about this like the other night. That's why.
Yeah.
Somebody got a bloody nose. Just like shit. Dude needs blood. No, I've been making music since I was about. I mean, for the production side, about 13 years old, 12 years old. I've been playing music since I was about 6, and it's been a journey thus far. Honestly, what really re-inspired my music making motivation was getting a production software called Digital Performer 6, released in 2006, and that forever made me buy a synthesizer keyboard, made me buy a workstation, a MIDI clock, ADAT MIDI clock, and just start go to town on it. And then I got annoying to everybody, just like, can I record that?
Right.
Yeah.
And thus, here we are.
Yep.
Mm.
Hell yeah.
So you've been on a journey.
Beautiful story.
Good Lord,
no, for sure.
man.
I've been suffering the trifluences of a musician before I even knew what that meant.
Yeah.
What is that software?
That was Digital Performer 6. Yeah,
Never
by
even heard of it.
Motu.
P6.
Motu.
Oh, Motu
Yeah.
software. Okay.
Yep.
So it's just garbage or what?
I mean, it's
Wait, what is it?
Audacity with a little bit more bells and whistles to
What is it called?
Okay.
Digital
Digital
Performer?
Performer 6, yeah. Yep, it's... I remember tweeting to Darude one time back when I first started producing, just because, Sandstorm and all that shit. And I was like, dude, you got to check out Digital Performer 6. And he was like, how about no? And I was
Did
just
he
like,
say
"Oh,
that?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh my god.
I think I can find it on my Twitter still.
Yeah, what?
It was
What
so
was this like?
funny.
He said, how about no?
Probably in a little bit more of a, Eastern European accent.
Sure.
Like, how about no? No, Motu was dope. It's still, accepted all my MIDI input, all my analog gear that I was working with at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That color scheme, though.
Yeah, no, oh my god. Talk about a blue light eye damage.
No.
Why was everybody so obsessed with this shit back in the day?
It was just because it was
and all these kind of
solid.
like glassy looking shaders and stuff. Oh
Yeah.
my god, I'm so glad it died.
No, for sure. Everybody was
this?
tired of Pro
It's
Tools.
like, why do I want gloss?
Yeah.
I
On
actually
the part
like the
that
gloss.
I'm looking at that part. If I was looking at that and the sun was glossing it, I would put my hand over it and be like, oh, look, now I can see.
That's why you got to get the extra
It just
for a
seems
sun
ridiculous.
shader, like get a visor for your VST.
Right. You're like, yeah,
It's extra DLC though.
Yeah, exactly. 15 extra bucks.
Maybe when you're using it, it's backlit more.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's a fancified Audacity. Fuck trying to do
Backlit.
any type of MIDI programming into that.
Sure.
It was an uphill battle for sure.
That's fun.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah, that seems like a real interesting time.
no, I was making mostly trance and electro house on that. Discovered. I went into
Not too bad
Reason.
for that kind of music, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No, I had a Korg
Melodic.
M50, which is like a little bit more of a baby version of the Korg M3. I think it's the M3 Triton, but it's a workstation keyboard, and the onboard sample effects for that, the sample banks, all the instruments allotted for that. You had chord functions on the actual buttons themselves.
Yeah.
That was honestly it did what I needed it to do. I didn't.
Those
have
were the
anything else.
keyboards that they would use at church.
Yeah,
growing
exactly.
up.
Totally.
It's just like you had so many presets. You had fucking.
Are you talking about the red ones? The
It's
red
just
chord?
No, it's
the,
Nord.
it's the
I think.
most
Yeah.
giant keyboard
Okay.
that they make. They're just enormous amounts of ridiculous shit going on
Right.
with them, and impossible to use. Like you guys sit there and program for ages to get it to actually do something interesting.
Like that 303. Yeah.
Those things were sick though. They have so many sounds on them.
Yeah, no, that they thankfully made a VST for it too, so I can do all the controllability if I ever wanted to do MIDI on it.
Oh, that's nice.
I shortly hopped over to Reason by Propellerhead. Reason,
Sure.
I think 4. And
Okay.
then obviously, just like every other Mac fanboy at the time, being in like 2013, GarageBand.
Oh, you had a
Oh, yeah.
garage
I
band
had a garage
phase
band
too.
phase.
I had a garage.
Even
band
after.
phase for sure.
McDubs
Oh,
with
the
the
legend.
subscribe.
Crowd, make some noise.
Jeez, let's go.
Let's get it.
Yes, thank you.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you went from Reason to
number
GarageBand.
4.
Yep, and then GarageBand to Logic, Logic to Cubase. and
So
then-
just every DAW ever you've worked
You got
in?
your DAW
And-
whore.
Whoever is paying the highest dollar. Honestly, Logic really impressed me with the first early on of like 8 with the ESX series, their effects and their synth units.
Oh, okay.
that-
That's cool.
I use those a lot, but it just wasn't as convenient as Ableton eventually became
Yeah.
to be with 7, and then.
Yeah.
With
You know,
7, wow.
Dude, everybody looks at Ableton, especially before 8, and it's just like, holy shit, what the fuck do I do here?
Right. I remember first finding it in like 2010.
Yeah, the learning curve
And
is
I was
just
like-
straight.
It's just a bunch of knobs and it's all white.
Yeah.
It's like being in a laboratory
Yep.
and everything's in Russian. You're
You
like,
got the
I
session
don't know what
and
to
then
do.
The clip view.
Yeah, and then you print the manual and you find out it takes an entire ream of paper to print it.
Yeah, it's all in Swedish too.
Yeah.
Manual.
Oh, no. Yeah. And then I
Oh,
went back
no.
to, doing other young adult things like
Yeah.
drugs.
Getting a job. Oh, wait. Hold on.
No.
Like
Dishes
drugs.
on drugs.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't like get fully into it till like right as Ableton 9 dropped is when I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Yeah,
Oh,
same.
man.
I started on
And
9.
I've been full bore since then, basically. I mean, a little bit before that because I was in FL Studio,
Oh, hell yeah.
but it's basically right
Dude, the
as
Citrix
Ableton.
FM.
Yeah, I had no idea what I was
That's
doing
fair.
still. It wasn't until Ableton, and then I got access, or I figured out like, oh, there's YouTube tutorials, and then it was like, zoom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
No more friends,
Jumped
no
on
more
the line.
girlfriend. Just
Sayonara.
yeah, I'm sorry, everyone.
As
Jobs
I
been
know it.
wondering when
Yeah.
where you've been for the last 2
I don't
weeks.
care.
I will be in my basement
Yeah.
for the rest of my life.
You don't understand the muse. She calls me at night, deep from the wilderness.
I
and the
don't
woods
want
and
to go to
sea.
sleep yet.
Yeah, must make
That's
techno.
why you just don't. Yeah, exactly.
You just hear in the distance. Doof, doof.
Yeah, the Jumanji board. That's what I was thinking. Like
You
you're
go
trying
to
to
bed.
sleep and you're DAW. You're just like,
Yeah, exactly. But it's just techno.
Yeah.
It's just loud techno in a warehouse somewhere.
ATB, leave me alone. I'm trying to sleep. Very coarse and go back to the church.
Some highly convoluted wub coming from
Yeah.
the distance.
Yeah.
We don't have any wubs on here, huh? We should probably throw a couple
Yeah, we should
wubs
probably
on
do it
here.
also.
Yeah, how do
good
we?
scent.
We have this whole channel over
Oh, we
here that
do
does
need-
nothing.
Oh shit.
Oh,
That
it
could be the
a
wub
whole
channel.
wub and send channel.
And
Yeah.
like foghorns.
A couple squishies in there.
Okay, yeah.
Sprinkle, man. We can get two.
Yeah. That's not a
That'd
bad
be pretty
idea.
saucy.
That's good.
We were talking earlier about, and it's a concept we've actually talked about a bunch, but at least me, I've never made any effort to make it happen. But we always talk about like how sick it would be to hear like some weird bass sound or really any sound like fly through a canyon, and you hear all the echo and like the extra bits, and you can hear
Right.
the size of the fucking reverb. You know,
If
That'd
you
be sick.
basically set up a function 1 on one end of a canyon,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a laptop with Ableton open or whatever, and you're just like, let's test serum patches.
Yeah.
You just F. And then you have microphones set up all along the canyon, all the way down for like miles, and you just get this tailored
Exactly.
impulse response, basically,
That'd
and
be
then
pretty
you
dope.
convolve
That'd be a good
everything.
project.
Yeah, but you need lots of like dope microphones.
HN4 Zoom. Just set them all up on
Yeah,
the canyon.
right,
You can
basically.
strap
Buy a
one.
whole bunch
Just
of
get a
them,
guy
yeah.
with a squirrel suit to glide through the canyon and have
Also,
like a
yes.
JBL, like a high-end JBL Bluetooth, just connected to the monitor, so that way you don't have to get additional shit. Just have somebody over here as the organ player.
Do you want to be that guy that flies through the canyon?
I'm not. I'm a nihilist, but like, no, I don't think I would.
I'd
Like,
be
where
down.
does he land?
I know, right?
What if the air from the actual serum patches is just perpetuating him up further and further,
Yeah.
and he just never comes back down to Earth? You know, he's just trapped
Constant.
in the ionosphere with all the other lost radio frequencies.
Dude. And then all
God
you
damn it,
hear is
Dylan.
wubs while you're up there.
Yeah, good
And
luck
you're
with
like,
that.
oh, this is a good
Pilots
way
in
to die.
the 2030s. Yeah,
Yeah, that would be a bad way
get
to
a
die.
broadcast here.
Right.
Yeah.
Sir, I think I just picked up some alien intelligence.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I want to learn how to like actually, like, as much fun as it would be to like record that in a canyon. Of course, we have to do that one day.
Hell yeah.
Like trying to do the synthetic recreation version would also
for
be
sure.
cool and just fun to play with, you know. But I feel like it would only be super effective if you had like 5.1 set up in your room, you know, because then you actually get a kind of an idea of it flying by you.
Yeah.
Because with
That's-
2D, it's a little hard, but I'm sure it's possible.
And with a 3-point setup, I've definitely heard the argument made. You could still do that full 360 surround just based off of how stereo images are projected out.
Right.
5.1 is definitely a luxury in that sense. But
Yeah,
I
for
still
sure.
think even programmably, it's a little bit more rewarding if you can actually accomplish that full 360.
I've
that
heard it
programming.
before. There's definitely like tracks where I'm like, that sounds like it's behind me. Plus, like when you play a video
Totally.
game, there's plenty of times where they have, you know, a
The
footstep
full vector.
Oh, yeah, and
that's
it sounds
coming
like it's,
from
like,
behind
coming-
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like directly, it's like off to the.
It's more of a
little bit.
They're
phase
not
off to it, yeah.
amazing
But-
at it yet.
All they have to do
They're
is
pretty
kind
good.
of
Right.
get it over here and then add a little bit over here, and it kind of equalizes back out. But
so, from my understanding, a lot of those phase engines, like they'll push the phase out a little bit further past the actual existing wave. Once it's behind you, it's when it starts to even out into an actual like fidelity wave. So it will bypass a little bit of the modulation that you're hearing currently to a further like seeming bypass
Whoa.
of,
That's
of
cool
your
as
stereo field.
fuck.
I could be totally wrong on that. That's just kind of how I absorb that. You know, I'm not.
yeah,
because
because I've been
sure.
the only time I've gotten close is I had a crack for a Waves plugin. I think it was a Sheps plugin where it was like a panner and it had like a dude's head and then it had like a little drag thing. You
Right.
could like drag it behind you and it would like it would get quieter the more center back you got, but you could put shit you could get it all fucking spinning and
Right.
shit, and it was
Yeah.
super easy. The
Yeah.
plugin I think is like $300, but I was like, fuck, that's cool, and I don't know what happened to the crack, but
For sure.
there's got to be a way.
So, like,
Yeah.
I used to do a lot of audio engineering classes for like any analog audio recording, and we used to build these microphones off of like our assignment was go buy a bunch of condenser diaphragms, some breadboards, some capacitors, resistors, strip down some XLR cables. If not, go buy them from the local like electronics store.
Right.
And we'd wire them up into it was a Paul Mitchell like haircutting dummy head. Which was creepy as shit. I decked mine out to look like a super punk chick. I put capacitors in her nose. I put gauges in her
okay,
ears.
nice.
Yeah. So we cut along the side of the dummy head and put our condenser binaural microphones into
Gotcha.
it, and then we
Yeah.
recorded doing 360 sound. So it's only 2 condenser microphones. With the sound setup we had at the time was 2 Mackeys and I think an Aris 500 sub, and we listened to it back on the studio track, and it actually sounded like the sound was pushing a little bit further, like behind your head.
Really?
You can literally hear somebody like walking around your head, but just with that miking polarity pattern.
By
Yeah.
miking it well.
Right. Building those 2 condenser binaural microphones. Especially the ear canal too that we built it in. That's why it was so important to have the dummies.
Sure.
Is because it actually
Helps simulate the cone.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
it had that absorption as the sense of somebody would be hearing it through their
Yeah.
ears.
Comb filtering.
Yep.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, that's so rad.
It was super creepy at the time.
I
but
really
Yeah.
I really want a binaural mic.
yeah, hell yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah,
That's
pairs-
like on the list, hardcore.
Pairs of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you guys want
pairs
to learn
of
to
them.
build your own, let me know. I remember those diagnostics, and I still have one like currently sitting.
Okay, yeah.
What?
We
Yeah,
should,
we
we
should
should
check
just,
out,
we should just
yeah.
have a
we
place.
should do that. We
Okay.
should do that.
Yeah, we should do
I'd be
that
down.
some Saturday or
Boys
something.
Yeah, some little.
I really want.
Yes, yes.
I really want to like.
We could even stream it. We could do it right here and
Oh, yeah.
stream it.
Oh, that would
How
be
to
sick.
build your own condenser binaural microphone.
Yeah, a little special
And then we see on the
episode.
news the next day, so many people robbed Paul Mitchell haircutting
I know, right?
places for their haircutting dummies.
It's funny.
It's hard to get like dummy heads nowadays.
Everybody's going out specifically to dress up their dummy and not to actually start working on building microphones
Right.
at all. Just like, oh, I get to build a dummy for this? Nice. Let's go.
That's not the point, guys.
I really want to
I think
like.
that's so much for
I really want to mic up studio spaces and like areas that we listen to music in general, and then like play sounds that I want to put into tracks and re-record them with some kind of a
That'd be
stereo mic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for like weird
Oh.
kind of like spatial energy.
I mean, once you
know?
put effects on it, like any type of distortion, phase, like chorus, anything, like it's going to completely spin it out into something completely new.
Well, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you were just to phase it back into its original, it'd just be like what it sounds like to be in that corner of your room, you know?
Right. But you use it as like a little bit of a
Could use it
squeeze
like
for
a little
the
bit
mix.
of a
Some
reverb.
garnish, yeah.
Yeah, like it's
exactly.
just like a little bit for your
the
mix. Or
parsley
you just,
on the chicken parmesan.
yeah, or you just use one
Let's go. Let's
section.
go.
The setting for this tune is my garage.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Or a cathedral.
Blasting in my
Keeping punk
garage.
music real.
But then you replay that in like Mission, and I bet it next to a normal track that was mixed clean or whatever, it would have like a little more kind of character being
Oh,
played
100%.
back in the room.
Totally.
It's not as sterile. It's got like kind of tonality.
It's got some Alex Gray type accoutrements, some harmonics,
Right. You
the
get
golden
lots
harmonics.
lots of weird tonal trappings.
Yeah, one thing we've been thinking about a lot is whenever we go to shows, just it feels like all I get to hear is the sub, and then
You don't need hands.
and then up just only high end. Otherwise, it's like
once the sub cuts
sub
out.
high end, and then the mid range is like just almost always terrible.
Yeah.
I think it's just because songs are very sub heavy, and they tailor the rooms to be very sub heavy because people like sub.
Yep. No, high end and mid don't make the booty shake.
Right, exactly. And I'm just kind of like, man, I
But-
gotta make less subby music now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's not even like the volume
annoying.
of
Anti-dance
sub.
music.
Yeah, but it's not like the gain set of the sub. Like it's
Right.
not how loud the sub is. It's just the whole time. It's just
Mixed, yeah.
It's that too, yeah.
So it's just this wall. It's not dynamic. It's not
just very
changing. It's not
stagnant.
pitching. Yeah, it's just like
It needs
Yeah.
to be more staccato-y almost.
yeah, that and
To
like
get a little bit of movement in that.
give me
Right.
some
atmosphere.
dynamic. Like
Yeah.
I like an 808 more than I just like a normal sub because the 808 goes
Yeah, it's got
and you get
pitch.
dynamic,
It's all of your
pitch,
body.
texture. Yeah, you
Yeah.
get a bunch of fun stuff happening. Like you don't need a lot to a sub, or you don't need to add a lot to a sub to make it interesting.
Right.
Like just try it, just
movement.
like a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like cut it out when it doesn't need to be there. Like cut it out at the snare. Like
Yep.
maybe it's just don't. You know, you
Yeah,
it
give it
comes
some
in and out
like breathing room
yeah,
for
come
sure.
on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Just fine.
There's a lot of really
Yeah.
fun like sounds like just a little bit higher up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, that people aren't
know?
going to hear if they're blasted with 30 hertz.
Right.
Yeah, and there's that whole thing where it's like, sorry to interrupt, baby.
No,
No,
go
you're
for
fine.
it.
like your ears just
Sorry.
you're good.
Yes, very good.
Nice memory
Nice.
there.
Your ears almost get like used to like the 30-40 hertz range after a sec because everyone wants to hit that sweet spot because it's like the
Right.
lowest spot and it fills the room and fucking shakes your goddamn taint for a little bit, and you're like, oh, what the fuck? But then after a bit, if everyone's just only boosting it, your ears just kind of like almost blank out on it, and it becomes stagnant. Yeah.
Straight. It's modulation within your. I mean, ear modulation's weird. Like you say, your ears get tired like from listening to tracks too much. I feel like there is actually brain modulation too. When you work on a track for too long, your brain almost gets completely familiar with hearing that tone.
Totally.
I mean, we've all experienced it. I'm sure. Walk outside after working on a track for like 8 hours, and it's just like you hear the tone of the same thing. You hear an air conditioning unit. You hear some noise, and it's just like.
Right.
Yeah.
It's almost like the what is that, like the screen burn thing that happens on like old TVs?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
that for
yeah.
your
It's like,
ears.
I
or
wasn't
something.
watching porn. Like you telling your wife, like I wasn't watching porn. What?
Yeah.
It's like I see you on the tube TV, motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's more like it's pushing down on
right,
it too. It's
for
like
sure.
we're trying to get rid of this sound as much as we can right now
Right.
because we don't like hearing this fucking like 2500 hertz sound that you've been blasting at me for this whole fucking couple days.
That and
Yeah.
like every song that doesn't sound as like impactful because
No, for sure, because you're not
It's
getting
just-
exposed to it as long. Like the
yeah,
bass
there's
ranges.
the sub is
Yeah, no, that's
like a river.
It's the amplitude versus frequency length.
Right, exactly.
I have a couple theories that I've bounced back and forth with some engineers, like analog engineers, digital engineers. I mean, rhythm is basically a frequency. So you get a frequency, 60 beats per minute is frequency. You get 1 hertz equals 160. 1 hertz equals 1 minute. 1 second.
Right.
Loosely. But if you were to attune the sub and gate it in the same way you were to kind of treat that as, just a random rhythm beat per minute track and gate it in the same value as a percussion instrument, I think that could have a lot of potent effects, even like basing your track's key based off of your BPM. So I think, I mean, if you were willing
That's
to treat
kinda
your
cool.
sub just the same as rhythm, that would play off a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
As far as the sub control.
Yeah,
It wouldn't just be some, trap music, the next Ghostface Killer, the next Young Thug trying to make the booty shake. It's
Hey,
Yeah.
Ghost, but Ghostface though.
I ain't talking no shit.
Oh, I know you ain't
Bad
talking
Bad
shit.
Not Good is like one of my favorite
Dude, he's-
albums
oh.
as far as the jazz tracks go.
It lends itself nice to house, and at least the house that kind of me and Dave, or at least me for sure, are into right now, is a lot of it is like nice staccato, kind of either bass hits or wubs and stuff. So everything's pretty quick
Cut,
and
yeah.
in and out
Clean.
and rhythmic. It's all about like the rhythm and like the jive of these notes in contrast with the more static beat, you know? And so therefore you get this, whole pop and rhythm the whole time, and there's no stagnant sub or anything.
Right.
Although there's definitely some house that's in the same wheelhouse.
Deep house, tech house, sci house.
Yeah, but like more like bass house, like
Not to rip Desert Hearts.
Joyride, like bordering on dub house or dubstep
Yeah.
house, basically, where it's just
Yeah.
like there's parts where it's like so.
Somebody once told me.
Yeah. That was good. That was, I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
that
thank
was
you.
a good one.
I'll put that on my wall. This refrigerator.
Proud
I
of
fucking
you.
totally get it though.
You can make an NFT
yeah.
of it.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people definitely lineate towards drone music though, like drone-y elements of music, because it's just easier.
Sure, but make it a
especially-
mid element.
No, for sure, exactly. I'm not against it. I think it's just kind of I don't mean to bring politics into this or anything, but like I think it's kind. I guess rather the society we live in.
Yeah.
nowadays,
It's like a sign of the times.
people are
You're
hungry for
trying to
fucking,
talk about
booty
bass nectar
shaking
right now, or
dads.
what?
Yeah. No, we don't talk about bass nectar anymore. He's under litigational hold. Him and Space Jesus.
Dude, he's the goat, dude.
Just
He's
don't get on the school
goat.
booth. School bus.
Good old Boof Nectar. Let's go.
Boof nectar. What is he boofing?
Apparently,
Nectar.
17
Nothing
year
less
olds.
than 50 hertz.
17-year-old
Nectar, dude.
pinkies or what?
Nothing less
Let's
than
go.
50 hertz.
Whoa. You can't take less than 50 hertz? What a pussy. Come on.
Dude, amplitude
Lauren.
versus frequency.
That is your real name.
It's just an alias.
Yeah.
Actually goes by Dr. Tickles.
So he too is MD.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You seem
Pretty good
confident.
at tickling. Yeah, like,
You've been tickled by Lauren.
I mean, maybe. I refuse to
You're
answer
one of-
these
you're
allegations
one of the
until
ones
my
who
lawyer
spoke out.
speaks.
Folks, we found him.
I love that you remembered the
Yeah,
spot.
no,
Let's
for
go.
Pretty sure he's
I'm a
memorized the
Foley-
whole board.
I'm a Foley enthusiast.
Let's go, man.
I just don't remember the slide whistle, and that's my only life regret.
It's somewhere in
I
that
think it's
region.
third one in from where you were.
No.
Oh yeah, those are all vocals.
There it
There
is.
it
I
is.
knew it.
Cool.
Third one in from where you
Nice.
were.
Oh,
What about
yeah.
this one?
That's about how I feel
Hey.
about this segment that we're in right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you give those, can you give them a little more wet when you release them?
There
Thank
you
you.
go.
Thank
Hell
you.
yeah.
Oh
wow.
God!
Very
You said a
wet.
little bit. I went hard.
I just need
Very wet.
something.
Wait, is up?
You guys
what
got
is?
extra towels around here?
Oh,
Fade to gray.
John has a question.
Oh, what's your favorite
Johnny?
Foley
Oh,
sound?
shit.
John's in the chat, everybody.
I feel like John
Johnny
got a
boy.
question.
I think it's his first time in the chat. He's been on the show more times.
Let's go, dude. What's up, dude?
He is the first time in the
Oh wait,
show,
I have to
actually.
say a thing before John's question because we're gonna move on and I'll never have a chance. You were talking about something with like frequencies based off your BPM or something.
Mhm.
And I learned this cool trick from Copycat in one of his live streams where
Phasing?
no, it's not really a phasing thing, but it's kind of actually yeah, I guess a phasing thing. Phase still confuses me. But you know, for like the fuck you basses that are like just like the distorted like
The mean bass.
The white noise bass.
Yeah.
the white noise bass, yeah. So he'll take he'll auto pan the like white noise on a separate track and set the hertz to whatever like the bass note is.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, same
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of like theory.
Oh, yeah.
Concept there. Yeah.
and it's so sick and it just like tucks in all nicely with your bass note.
Oh, yeah.
and just
That's why
sounds
we
good.
use Bitwig.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that's Bigwig's got a little guy for that.
Yeah.
Nice.
The LFO on the modulator has a pitch setting.
Nice.
So you just set it to the pitch and throw a transpose right before the
You're
Good
good to
shit.
go.
unit.
Yeah.
And
Good shit.
Sounds done.
Yeah.
Shout out
so sick.
Bigwig. We're gonna keep shouting out Bigwig till they sponsor us. I haven't changed our color, Bitwig, just for you.
Yeah,
yeah.
Bitwig orange right there.
It's a little
Florida
light.
fresh.
I think it's a little
It
light.
looks yellow to me, but
Only on
It's got a
that.
hint of
oh
yellow.
yeah, it's that
It's better.
screen.
It's better on that.
Oh yeah, that
I
one's like a
gotcha.
hot orange.
You're like a hot orange.
Caleb. After the pod.
You guys got a squishy noise on there?
I know. We need one. Fuck.
Steven, somebody
Whoopsie.
mixing macaroni or something.
Looks like we'll be right back, folks, after these short messages.
Da, 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 da.
Ba, 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 and we're back.
Welcome to the rave.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are back from break. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce many hosts of Always 400 Productions.
Yes! Thank you, comrade Sikublit.
You're welcome. We are all professionals in music arts.
Yeah, we even slowed down fucking Sandstorm for you guys.
Yeah.
You're
true.
welcome.
It's actually at 4:32 instead of 4:40. Shit.
Precisely.
The vibration of the universe, man. If you're not making music like that, you're not going to be
About
Jimi
7.
Hendrix.
Yeah, right.
Dude.
God.
Pre-World War II music, dude.
Sing
So has anybody got any good topics on our giant pile of
Oh wait, didn't we have a
Topics?
question?
Yeah, let me answer
Oh,
John's
yeah,
question
John.
real
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
I think
John
he
had a
already knows the
question.
answer to this. He's got one of those. It's a piece of metal hung on a little handle. It's like a hollow 2-bar handle. Piece of metal, and it's got 2 red mallets on the end of it, and you can bend it and go back and forth.
Oh, I know
it's
those.
the Jello effects machine that they used to use in a lot of the old Tom
Yeah.
and Jerry cartoons. No, I forget exactly what it's called, but
that is a cool
that used to be the best.
a sheet of metal.
My brain says djembe, but I know that's wrong. That's the drum with the strings on it. I think is a djembe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so they are stringed up. The way you're motioning that, I don't know. Like it's you could definitely
not a bagpipe.
it's not a bagpipe.
No.
I know.
Can't you
I
like
know what you're
squeeze it?
talking
flip it
about.
Can't you
upside
squeeze
down.
it? Can't you squeeze it?
Yeah.
And it'll.
It depends on the
Woo,
shell.
woo.
My shell is literally. I'd love to see
But it's
anybody
a
try to
djembe,
squeeze
right?
it.
That's what that's called. Is that
Djembe
drum?
is not the right instrument.
No,
I don't think so.
It's not the right drum.
Yeah, a lot of djembe shells are really, really hard. The
How
only way you
hard
can
are
actually
they?
Yeah, go on.
on the Mohs scale, probably about an 8, a little bit around the whole corundum crystal mineralization hardness scale. So, yeah. So djembes, you can actually bend the tone too, but you have to press in the head in order to bend the pitch a little bit.
Djembe.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I'm not 100%. But honestly, any Foley effect too that resembles squishing wet cabbage or
John's
macaroni.
Foley trying to put memes or something into the chat over here and then getting banned by Nightbot or something.
Yeah, you can't. This isn't Discord chat, my guy. This is a different chat. It's not the same chat.
I'm trying to think of like my favorite Foley sound. I have no idea.
Second runner-up. Slide whistle, always classic.
Yeah.
I used to have a slide whistle and follow people down my middle school stairs, and like when they'd fall, I'd just be like, I'd be always prepared. I only got them twice.
Like that dude on TikTok, he follows his mom around
with the
a
trombone.
He's a little person, everybody.
Yeah.
He plays circus music.
It is.
It's amazing.
Wonderful.
Dude,
And she loves it.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to. What else are you going to do?
Just get mad.
It's clown
Yeah, you going to
music.
get mad at it forever? He ain't stopping.
Dude, when in Rome. I
Right.
mean, if you're a clown,
Yeah.
enjoy the clown music.
Enjoy the clown music.
What's
It's
your,
for you.
what's your favorite Foley effect?
Favorite Foley
Foley
effect?
sound.
Favorite
Sound
Foley
effect.
sound?
Yep.
Effect, sound, whatever.
This is from John.
Wav.
It's a question from John.
I like glass breaking. It's a good one.
Nice.
Anything airy is really fun. Oh, metal. Anything metal is always sick. Yeah, you can put it on a
All the
snare.
noises. You
And
work
get
for
it.
Warner
I know you
Brothers?
guys.
Like the blacksmith snare?
Yeah, like
I
a
do,
blacksmith
yeah.
snare. Oh my god.
I like anything metal if it's
A
super
nice metal
dense.
hit.
Yeah, right.
Like,
and then you take
I
it,
like
drown
the-
it in reverb, and pitch it down, and it sounds like a fucking submarine in the ocean, like,
Right.
hitting the bottom of the Mariana Trench, and you're just like, oh,
I don't think you could hear that.
And they discovered a trip.
I can
line,
hear it, Caleb.
Like a C mine.
got to step up your frequency
You
hearing
said
game,
that
dude.
very aggressively. I can hear
You want to
it.
say
Oh,
something?
yeah, Caleb.
You want to say something to our elephant audience that can only hear like 6 hertz?
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know if the microphone picked it up or not.
Yeah, it might be a little bit.
What is this?
A little bit low for this mic.
It's only 40.
Do you guys remember
Yeah.
one of the subs up meetings where you're trying to figure out a challenge to do for the month? And then like someone was saying like the dog whistle challenge, like anything
Christ.
over like
Mosquito
18K
noise.
type
Yeah.
beat.
Dog
something.
whistle.
I used to want to fight kids in class for having that shit as a ringtone.
Oh, I hated that
horrible.
so
The teacher's just like, "What are you
much.
freaking out about?" Everybody's just like, "Fuck this kid in the classroom."
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I hated that.
It's got making me hear fucking grenade sounds like
The
no
real
grenade
dog
went
whistle
off.
challenge would be you make it at that hertz, but you have to pitch it down
Oh.
in the moment. You pitch it down by however many until it sounds like an actual thing.
Oh, gross.
Get analog dog whistles and actually record.
That would be so much
Analog-
fun.
frequency
yeah,
response.
exactly.
But then you would
I
only
love
get like
the idea of
4,000.
an analog dog whistle, by the way.
Which sounds terrible. You're like down here in the studio trying to write this beat, and all of a sudden there's just
14
dogs
dogs outside
all
your
over
window.
your house.
What you doing in there, motherfucker? You trying to get cut?
Yeah, dude.
You better have some fucking goddamn bacon strips.
That was great.
We have laugh tracks. Those are also there.
Oh yeah.
Nice. That's a
Man.
super phasey laugh track. Holy shit.
Yeah, dude. I only download the best.
Hell yeah.
There weren't like any low mids in that, dude. What's going on, dude?
Yeah, it cuts off like right at 1,000. It's like zonk.
John does love a whip sound. This
Yeah.
is true.
fuck
I
yeah,
know
the big
this
two-
about John.
two
I was gonna say
woodboards.
my favorite is
He's very good at making
the cracking of something, like
Oh,
like
yeah.
wood,
Sticks.
like two like
Chestnuts on the
Yeah.
open fire.
or like a big
Oh.
tree, like a really big tree where it's just
oh, fuck
and it's
yeah.
like
Ripping all the
you get,
fibers.
yeah, you get all those. Oh, I found
Yeah.
one sound on Splice. It's one of my favorite samples. You've heard it. You've commented on it. It's on that drum and bass track.
Oh, okay.
and it's like it rips into white noise, and it's just like whoosh. And it's just so sick. It's the coolest.
And you're like,
fucking
that's
sound
the greatest
ever.
thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, but I can only use it every so often. It's very aggressive.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
right.
It's very aggressive.
You just got to cut out the white noise.
Yeah.
It's nothing like 1,000 leaves dying all at the same time. It's like the Star Wars quote. It's as if a thousand voices cried out all at the same time and were suddenly silenced.
That's white noise.
Yeah. It's like Alderaan getting blown up.
Yep.
Yeah.
But my mom actually called me crazy the other day. She's like, "Are you okay?" And I was like literally outside trying to record leaves on my back tree because we have a shit ton of leaves in this this backyard tree. And had a Zoom up there. Fell down from the tree, corrupted my previous recording. It would have been so good. And then I went inside, got a mic stand, got back outside and put it up against the tree. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "There's nothing like, recording the whistling, the white noise between 1,000 or 10,000 leaves rustling." And she's just like, "Okay, have fun."
You're like, Mom, listen to this high end. God.
You don't understand the
It
textures.
must sound
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
It was awesome.
I mean, I'm sure it sounds amazing, absolutely insane. Also, figuratively and actually sounds insane.
Yeah.
To your mom.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Right.
No,
She was like,
she's just like, "You have fun
Okay.
doing it. I'm supportive,
Sure.
but you're
Oh, God.
fucking."
sure, sounds fine, I'm sure. The air.
Okay.
Let me know if you need anything.
Air. He's recording the air.
Yeah. My son. My son.
On the phone with her brother, like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
My son, Henry.
Did I do any drugs or alcohol?
My
when I was
son,
pregnant
Henry.
with him?
I think he's
Yeah,
broken.
I do love that fucking crack kind of sound though.
Fuck yeah.
Like the
Yeah, like a good
bone break. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that just hits a sweet
Ripping.
spot. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's super.
Because it's like a
satisfying.
squishy sound, but with wood.
That
It's just
yeah.
organic as fuck and just so natural, and you're just like, oh, little eargasm.
That or a good like slam, like just anything falling from hundreds of feet on a concrete.
Oh, a little thump. Okay.
Yeah, like there's the best one ever, which it kind of just at the end of the day sounds like a gunshot kind of, but I'm gonna try and make this as quick as possible. My mom worked at my elementary school. I know. Hi, Mom.
He survived.
So I had to wait to go home until she was done, and my buddy lived in the apartments, also known as the crack shacks, across the street.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like the
And
Shake
so we were just kind of hanging out before I left, and we were walking around, the school, and all of a sudden we heard the greatest just crack bang just all at once, just so loud.
Not from the crack shacks.
No, from the backside of the building. We went back, and in this little turnaround, there was a giant hunk, like a 10-inch by probably just 10 inches by 10 inches, block of dry ice that had just slammed into the ground. It fell off a wing off a jet that was flying over. Yeah, dude. Like, I figured this all out afterwards, being like, how did this happen? And like me and my dad researched it, and we're like, oh, that makes sense, because it has like
It's just a thing that happens.
yeah, and it has mechanisms on the wings of planes usually that break that off before it gets too big.
thermodynamics,
Yeah.
Oh,
But
so people are just
this-
getting murdered
Right,
every
right.
day.
But this one
This
had
one
some
was
kind of
just
malfunction. Yeah, he was like, screw it.
Imagine if a kid would have been out there just
Yeah. Yeah. Luckily, there were no cars around. Like, it was just in the middle of this cul-de-sac, basically. But the sound was impeccable.
Could have literally just gone
Oh.
through the roof of somebody's house.
Right. Right.
Oh, and the reverb on it was probably just
Yeah, yeah, it was
insane through the
crazy.
buildings.
But the next coolest part is we took it. It was in two parts at this point. We each put it like a piece in our shirt after telling the authorities. And we went back to the crack shacks and filled his bathtub full of cold water and then dumped those bad boys in there and literally smoked out like the entire crack shacks. Just
Rob Zombies over here with fucking
just
cease and desist
fog
orders.
everywhere. Yeah, it was great. It was pretty great. It looked like a Halloween disaster coming out of their apartments.
yeah.
Anyways, that sound
Gaga
was
video.
wonderful.
Hell yeah.
Dude, what a story.
sound.
I've never heard that one.
It's a ridiculous story.
It's a good one.
I still blows my mind that it happened.
The government comes in
Oh,
later.
I'm
It's
sure.
like, I believe you have our piece of dry ice. Or I believe you have our
Are we going to get
assets."
taken down on
Yeah.
YouTube?
Men in Black with sunglasses.
Yeah, right. SCP-900, like 905.
I'm no longer in
Sentient
possession. Sorry,
That's
I
good.
killed him.
That's-
If he was screaming, didn't hear him.
Got the testament though.
Yeah, but if I didn't hear him screaming, how did I know?
No, that's true.
Yeah, scream louder.
Nobody can hear you scream in space.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey,
Come on,
scream
Ice. Do
Sis.
something. All right, come on.
Do something.
Do
a
something
flip.
interesting.
Come on.
I mean, I guess that's us. We should do something interesting. What's our next topic? Who's
About
got
the
anything?
economy. I'm just kidding.
The economy
Can I just
is
throw
what?
one at you guys?
Yeah,
Put
do
you
it.
on the spot? Okay, so we've established that you can have like glass sounds and ice kind of sounds. You can have a wood sound, a squishy sound, a watery sound. What are the other like weird little like adjectives for a sound that maybe haven't been explored in music?
Oh, okay. I like this topic.
Yeah,
it's
that
really
could have-
abstract.
Yeah, right. My first thought went to like cloth, but that's not very
I was
interesting.
yeah,
Not a
that
lot
kind
of
of goes
tone
into
coming
like
from that.
maybe a whip, like a kind of whip. Although
Oh,
I do
yeah.
like the sound of like cloth in a breeze. You know, like the fluttering
Yeah.
of like a
Oh,
cloak or
like
like,
our
a
pirate
shirt.
flag?
Yeah,
When it-
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like that sound is kind of
That is an interesting sound to
lethargic
think
sound.
about making.
Yeah.
Right? I wouldn't even know
Yeah.
how to-
Splatter.
trying to
a
synthesize
bunch
that.
of little tiny baby whips.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
you guys seen those
cool.
the Foley effect videos that people do like nowadays for like cinematic music, animated? I'm sorry,
Yeah.
cinematic videos, animated videos, and all that shit. Like they're literally taking like for bones cracking like celery pieces and like crunching them up. They'll take like shoes and like stomp on wet mops and shit just to make certain squish noises.
I
like,
love
Nice.
those.
dude, I
Nice.
think the most underrated but most insane, underpaid part of cinema is the Foley effects artist.
Dude.
The audio.
Dude,
I
yeah, they're
want that
killing
job.
it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
You
that would be
just-
so much fun.
It's
Yeah,
like
hell
you
yeah.
So
and
cool.
two other homies in a room with a big TV and then a bunch
Like
of crap.
$16,000 microphones.
Yeah, yeah, and a bunch of random shit. And you're like, okay,
Yeah.
wait, play that scene back. What do we need for this? All right, they're mixing spaghetti. He coughs and then he drops the pan. Okay, so let's use this
I'm
for
gonna
the
need a
spaghetti.
crane.
Yeah, let's use
like
like
15 pregnant nuns.
all singing E sharp minor.
We pay you top dollar
That's
to
the
go
hum
real
of the
abstract
pan.
with the way you
Exactly.
get your
Right.
sounds.
Yeah.
But it has to sound realistic.
Some of those like super in depth to it though.
It would be funny to like redo Foley in like really big blockbuster movies.
Yeah.
With like really shitty
With
sound.
really not necessarily shitty, like they're really high quality, but they don't make sense. Like everything, like
Projects.
yeah, like every time a guy closes his door, it's like the squeak of like a rubber duck or whatever. Yeah, like every door, and we keep it across the
Yes.
whole movie, so everything is just like yeah, those are the sounds
Yeah.
for those things now. Every time somebody takes a drink, it's just somebody screaming.
Just so mixed into the harmonics of the actual Foley. It's just
Right.
like if you listen really closely and you filter it out, just you turn on the rest, it's just like,
Right, exactly.
Something that's
Be
always
great.
blown my mind with like the Foley dudes and the
Easter
sound
eggs.
design guy for movies is like the mechanical, like in Transformers, they have all the robotic like fucking organic
Transformer
like
sounds?
twisting transformer sounds is the best way to describe
Yeah.
it. Yeah. That shit blows my fucking
That
mind.
shit is cool as hell.
It's so hard to make.
100%.
It's so fucking
I'm sure there's a
they're
couple
really good at it.
tutorials by now.
I think Skrillex did
There's
all
a couple.
those, didn't he? I'm just
What's
kidding.
up?
I said I think Skrillex did all those, didn't he? Sonny Boy.
Thank you. See,
Eat your
that's
heart
what I'm
out.
talking
Oh,
about.
Sonny boy.
Good
little
reverb.
wet.
Hell yeah.
Another one. I was gonna say boxy, but I already
Oh.
kind of do that with convolution reverb.
Yeah,
I'll like
Any kind of reflective space.
yeah, but what's the word I'm looking? I'll like purposely put things in a boxy thing or boxify them for the mix purposes or for creative purposes.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's not really one that hasn't been explored because a lot of people are starting to fuck with convolution now.
Still I like where your head's at, Caleb.
Yeah,
Keep
for
them
sure.
coming.
It's also not really a sound unless we're talking about
No,
like
it's
a
not.
box.
It's not like a it's
Yeah,
not like
like
a Foley,
like a
right?
cardboard box or something.
Yeah.
Not even just like cardboard,
tape
but like
rip-
metal.
whim-
Whimsical?
tape
I don't
off.
think whimsical's a Foley sound.
Ooh.
I mean,
Like
Oh.
wind chimes. Thank
Oh,
you.
look at you with the effects.
He learns fast. He learns
go.
fast.
I have one of
everybody.
those. Like, I fucking love it.
Genius of the crowd over here.
Okay. All right.
Hell yeah. Filmed in front of a live studio audience.
It's a professional show, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes, of course. Always. 400.
where we use way too many sound effects.
Now 300% more.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, so on a similar vein, here's another way to think about it.
my vein.
You know how they have like a growl sound? You know, there's an animal that's like growling or whatever. And then you have like a squelchy kind of sound. You can imagine that. What other kind of ways can you approach it from that kind of mindset?
feel
Like maybe like a chirp?
a lot. So
like
are you talking about the animal growly sounds? Or are you talking
Yeah. So, well, both. You know how like
Describer for a
people
sound.
will make like basses in dubstep and they call it a growl, and it kind of sounds growly, you know, and
Right.
it sounds like an
Formanty,
animal. Yeah,
like, yeah.
formanty.
And you
Yeah.
got yoinks.
You got yoinks.
You got yay.
So wait,
Yoink.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the term for that where a word's
Format.
pronounced like it sounds or whatever?
Onomatopoeia?
Like, yeah,
Onomatopoeia.
Yeah, like a
Like bang, crash, boo, pow.
meow. Yeah,
Yeah, like what are
yeah. These
that's-
are onomatopoeias of
Yeah.
bass sounds,
Right.
basically.
we got to make an
I
onomatopoeia
think,
sample
I
pack.
mean, the best format is going
Womp.
back to your own vocals. You just be like,
Right.
Just make a bunch of weird noises.
Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Yeah.
That was a good one.
no, I feel
You can
like
sample this if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Royalty free.
It's freedom, man.
I'll be looking for
Exactly.
my royalty checks in the mail. At least 5 cents on the dollar.
These are expensive microphones. I mean,
Uh,
we got a whole rig going
That's
here
a balloon like floating off from a kid's birthday party. There it
You're
goes.
welcome, John.
Flies into the power lines.
Yeah, and then it turns into an urukai.
No, I feel like a lot of the monster noises are made all wholesomely voice flies or synthetically driven for sure.
Yeah, I can see that. I watched one video
Just
where
pitch
they were
shifting and
using.
shit.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They were using
Supposedly-
like pig squeals and like bird sounds and layering a bunch of weird shit.
Yeah.
It's just yeah.
Supposedly a laugh, like a human laugh, will sound kind of just like a monster
Mhm.
if you slow it down.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
You get
Yeah.
5
So-
overdubs. You do one pitch shifted all the way to negative 24.
Right.
One
yeah.
112, one like 13,
Get
just
some-
to get
get
that
some
little
layers
dissonance
in.
in there.
Right,
Yeah.
you get a little bit of phasing. You get a little bit of tonality, movement.
And then you get the fat gaff Jim just to come over and just be like making random noises like, all right, Jim, your paycheck's in the mail. Get out of here.
Jim Gaffigan?
Jim gaffing
We
the
get
fat
Jim
gaff
Gaffigan.
Jim. I'm sure there's a gaff named Jim, and I'm sure he's heard the joke Jim Gaffigan more times than he's willing
That's
to
good,
accept
yeah.
that that's
Good.
hilarious.
I
God
hope so.
bless that scenario.
No, for sure.
Yeah, God bless
I'm
that
super
scenario.
Pay
for
any
that
gaffs
scenario.
named Jim
Yeah.
more.
That's ridiculous.
Hey, Jim. Gaff again.
Oh, guys,
Up
here
the
we go. We'll talk about this more off pod, but just look up fucking animal sounds: bark, bellow, chatter, a croak. Imagine a croak bass, little frog bass.
Yep.
I guess people have kind of done that. A moo.
A moo.
And
I mean, that's kind of a
cow
horn.
house.
Yeah.
There was
Oh, it's almost like
That's basically drum and bass current.
Yeah.
There was
Yeah, that's fair.
Moose.
There was a dude that was making a meme video with a violin playing a fucking moo from a cow going, "Rrrr," and the cow was just like, "Rrrr."
Moving back.
Yeah, they were all like, the language of our people. You just called us 16 offensive things
Right,
in our
exactly,
cow language.
exactly. Just
They're
saying,
like, hey,
You son of a bitch!
fuck you.
Keep it down.
fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you,
Move the
fuck
fuck on!
Why are you doing the offensive words?
Fucking guys thinks he knows.
Right.
A medium, the most
If
racist cow violin.
If only. That would be glorious.
They're like, hey,
racist cow violence. What a vibe tonight. I like this.
it's only vanilla over here.
Highly
sister.
specific.
I think that's a Max for Life plugin.
If not,
We're looking at you, Ableton.
Yeah.
And Ableton freelance developers.
Or infected mushroom. They might nail that one.
I think they already got one. It's called Manipulator.
Hell yeah.
they have a couple.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Manipulator's kind of dope, but it's limited.
Yeah.
IMO.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I respect.
It looks cool though.
Thank you. Thank
Looks
you.
like a spider.
Big sheesh.
Every time
I
I,
like
pull
their-
it up, I'm like, what is this
Yeah,
spider
I
doing?
like their other one better. I wish, because it just like it just reloops cycles depending on the frequency you play. So
Yeah.
the lower the note, the slower the cycle repeat is.
Fucking what
So
is it?
it's like-
Mids from Arteria.
Yeah,
Have you checked that out?
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
similar thing, and it's like not.
Just less of a CPU horror.
Yeah, it's not like crazy.
No.
It just does a simple thing, but it's pretty cool, and it works when you kind of need it to do. It's fun to like resample after you fuck with it, and then mud pie it, chop it up, and do
Give
a
it a
bunch of
little
random
Primus.
shit.
Random modulator,
Yeah, random modulate it in some ridiculous way.
mud pie.
Stretch it out, chop it up.
Out of here.
Yep.
Oh,
Out of here.
Out of here. Just like
in.
kind
How
of
you
like we're
doing?
trying to be right now.
Yeah,
Kinda, you know?
speaking of which, we're about there.
We're getting close.
What is it,
damn.
53?
It's 53:10 right now.
53. Okay.
Hand me the pen, though, huh?
Dylan, you have 7 minutes.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Give us all of your divine wisdom.
Hey, Dave. Hand me the pen.
Go, go,
Hey, how you going?
so many. I wanted to be schmarmy, but you got to filter yourself a little bit for the internet. Otherwise, we're going to end up on some 4chan Discord.
Yeah, right.
I hope
you know,
so.
/B. It's not,
Can't
not
cancel
anything
us.
beneficial.
Yeah, you can't
beneficial
cancel
want.
us.
Actually,
We are uncancelable.
Go ahead
you know
and
why?
try.
I'm wearing the pink sweater.
Whoa.
They got a
uncancelable.
Yeah.
Pink sweater
They can't
stands
touch
for
it.
breast cancer. So
Yeah.
Awareness.
cancel us.
of mothers.
awareness.
You look like a
Review
douche.
every movie.
That's right.
It's like, is this offensive? It's just like, well, I think it's got a pink sweater. It's fine.
Oh,
Well
the
said,
pink
Karen.
one. Yeah, actually, never mind.
Yeah.
That means my intentions are true. What is the biggest challenge you're working through as a creator at this time?
I think time.
Who is
Oh,
this
you have-
Oxalix guy, and
Yeah,
why
you
does he
have-
keep blowing up our
It's
chat?
John.
Dude, get out of here. Fake John.
Oxalix.
It's John.
And over
We only
here-
know a restraint. God.
No, I think time is honestly the biggest.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the last
There's
word
not
of
enough
that
time in the
sentence.
day.
That's the thing. Well, yeah.
Wait, what is the
It's
question?
like a
Time
matter.
management is
Biggest
such a-
Yeah.
challenge.
Biggest challenge you're working through as
Here,
a
here, I'll read
creator
it for
at
you.
this time.
Thank you.
What is the biggest challenge you're working through as a creator at this time?
I wish. I don't remember the rest of them.
Did you get that?
No,
Remember
I'm
it again?
sorry. I was distracted again.
What is the biggest challenge you're working through as a creator at this time?
Mate,
Mate.
After you,
Thanks.
gentlemen, go ahead.
right. Hey,
The time.
Right, you.
It's time. Time management.
I mean,
Time
time,
management.
time is a fantastic one. I probably would have said money, but that's
Like-
the same fucking thing.
Yeah, time is
Right.
money.
Yeah.
Which is
They
more powerful,
equate
time or
in-
money?
Right. Exactly.
If time equals money, then like who the fuck is winning in the cage fight? Like,
Oh.
If he doesn't break
Chuck
his ankle.
Liddell.
whoever doesn't have
Throwback to
cauliflower
earlier.
ears.
Yeah, yeah.
Beauty contest at the end of the fucking competition.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson, dude.
I think
Jake,
mine is.
Jake Paul.
Oh, yeah, no,
Yeah,
go ahead.
go for it.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Let's
We
go,
were
Brandon.
kind of talking about it earlier. I think my biggest issue is honestly just confidence, and it always has been. Like fucking track one, I'm like stoked on a track in the moment, and then you listen with fresh ears in 3 days, and maybe you think it's cool and it has potential, but like maybe it's the artist in us that we just always fucking seem to hate it, or we're like trying to see the flaws instead of the beauty of it.
Yep.
But fuck, dude.
Nah.
You're not
Confident
alone.
track.
No, that's
Yeah,
good.
no, for
sure.
That's all
You're
good.
not
You're probably
alone.
right.
I
Yeah.
feel like, you know,
You're
when
probably
when
right.
knowing
I would
to
trust
just
it.
Accept face is kind of hard because you want to keep threading through this little maze of needle eyes. You're trying to thread it, just
Phase is a
continue it over
world.
and over again.
Yeah.
It's when to know to call it quits and when to actually move on to the next project. But again, everybody's their own worst critic.
400%.
So
Yeah.
I think you might as well just go for gold. Like nobody's watching. Your mother's still gonna be proud of you, and just say fuck it. Make the most pristine, fucking distorted,
Yeah.
face-shaped, fucking harmonic fart noises you possibly can. and
Yeah.
make some Nicki Minaj song.
Yeah.
Like fuck it.
Yeah. Make
Fuck yeah,
the
right?
most
You ain't got the
swampiest,
time to worry about it.
squishiest music that you would like to make.
Exactly.
And one thing to keep in mind, at least for you, Austin, at least, I mean, yeah, I feel like by the time this doesn't matter, it won't matter, which that doesn't really make any sense. But
it's just the time being.
I already know.
like in 3 years, when you're still making squishy stuff, it's going to be like at a caliber that like no one else will be able to make squishy stuff. And that being said, it's
That's
because
for
right now
sure.
you're the only person I know making this kind of weird squishy shit. Like you have like like bits of like tipperness and like this and that, whatever that help like ground it. But like I don't know anybody else making these weird sounds, which makes sense why you're like, does it sound good? I don't know. It's because there's no reference point.
I think the more times,
So it's going to be a little weird getting there. But once you like, if you just continue down the road or keep climbing the mountain, by the time you're like kind of starting to feel confident with it, you're going to be at a dope level anyways because nobody else is in the lane you're in.
Yeah, you will feel confident eventually, for sure.
Yeah,
At some point, right?
and I'll say not 100% confident,
never,
but
100%.
a little. Yeah, you get a little juice.
Pretty goddamn
I'd say about
confident.
Yeah, you get some
99.
You can
juice.
get confident.
Yeah.
Take the hand sanitizer statement on this kills 99% of bacteria. The other 1% is just existential dread on what. what the unknown.
It's COVID-19 on that.
Dealing with the dread bombs. Okay.
I would say also too, just like figuring out more ways to efficiently exemplify the tones that you want to hear, whether it be through analog, whether it be through hard tack, hard expressed sort of forms of music. Kalimba is fucking. If you want squishy sounds, get like 14 mops, 13 mops. If the budget wills, 15 mops. Set them up with 4 different microphones and just hit them with like a bunch of hammers or some shit.
I liked your macaroni thing earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
That was-
Stirring
that was
macaroni
good,
really
yeah.
slowly, and then they start to throw chili paste into it or something. Like a little bit
like
of flour
this.
to make
Yeah.
it more dry. I feel like the more time you're given to actually sit down with sound design,
Sounds
a lot
like
of
a
it gets
banger.
convoluted.
Yes.
Yeah, no. When you're actually focusing on sound design and you don't have a plan going into it, and you're just sitting there making sounds, you get more time to think about it, which I think kind of dispels a lot of the intent of creatism and the ebb and flow of
It's
like
a double-edged sword for sure.
obligation. Yeah.
Like you have to go into it knowing you're like, all right, I'm gonna make some sounds. Can't get jaded. I can't lose sight of what the sounds are for.
Which
but
when-
I also
when you're
want to
into it.
explore.
Yeah.
Like so, there's like it's an adventure. It's
Mm-hmm.
a quest, and you can fail.
Yep.
yeah.
Every single time you get down that rabbit hole, you don't necessarily fail, but you're just fucking, staring at, Tom Cosm, fucking Alex
Right.
Gray, Allison Gray pictures in your head.
Right.
And you're just like, well, this bass is fucking tripping me the shit out, but what am I going to do with it? I can only do it on these parameters. Shit, now I got to fucking write out 14 channels of automation. Cool.
It's almost
And
like
then you're fucking caught fucking 6 hours writing out these channels of automation and just trying to get the right points in which you heard
Yeah.
this fucking tone. Yeah, no, it gets convoluted as shit.
it's
Right.
almost
So I
like
think efficiency is a big one on that.
as you're falling down like a bass sound designer or whatever sound design rabbit hole, the farther you go down, the faster you're going. So it's easier to make like a quick bad decision because you're falling down the hole so fast that you're like, ooh, maybe that right turn will be good. But then you
Yep.
take it and you're like, boom, you take it all fast. You're like, oh shit, no, now I can't like get back to where I was because you're like so deep now and you're just like in this zone of making this weird sound. And then you're like, shit, now it's not even usable.
I think one major
Like I
thing
took
that's
a-
helped me comp with that, even if you are going down the rabbit hole, is save your fucking project versions. When you get
Oh, yeah.
a single solid one, you got a nice little groove, you got a nice little bass line, solid melody, solid drum, a little bit of good composition here. Save that shit. Don't be afraid to save fucking 14 projects down the line.
Save it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Control S should
I'm
be
a-
your fucking natural. Like when you die, you should just be
Duplicate.
like,
Yeah, dude. Control S. Control
Duplicate
S
channel.
is.
yeah.
Yeah, I do that all the time too.
I'll
I
just-
have like 7 versions.
Yeah, you
of
got
the
your
same
bass sound you're working on. You get to a
Yep.
point. I'm about to make a like crazy turn.
Yep.
Duplicate it.
Yep.
Deactivate that channel. Keep moving.
Build
But-
up full instrument
Yeah.
racks. Fucking save your presets, your instrument racks. The only things you know modularly and controllably macro wise as to what you created. It's just like, oh, cool.
Yeah.
This is all solid. This is set to go. I'm gonna put this off in my own little bank. I can recall this later. Cool. Now I can use this out. But I'm never gonna stop anybody from going further
Right.
because the further is unknown.
And I know
I know. Right?
It is
Yeah.
unknown.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I know
Two
that
parts,
sounds intimidating,
scary and
folks. To save all your shit and like remember before you take a turn to like duplicate or like flatten out a sound before you continue making
Other shit.
decisions, basically.
Yeah.
But you just kind of you just start and you continue trying to remember to do that.
I mean,
You
that's-
figure it out.
Yeah,
over the
you
years.
just focus on it. You make it a point.
Yeah.
You know, it's an important thing because then also what you do is you get 7 versions of that same kind of root sound now. So now your drop has like more flavor because now you have
Right.
like a bunch of very similar sounding things.
Yeah.
You know,
all in that same.
and it's all for free. It's all just to get to that last one, but now you have all these other versions.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you, of course, like never have to worry about, fucking anything up because you have the whole saved project. So it's just like go wild, fucking have fun, do some weird shit if you're feeling it.
Yeah, I want to say one thing. You guys heard of Samsara?
Oh yeah.
So like it's totally cool to just, go down the rabbit hole and like not be able to save anything, but you got to realize you're doing it for you. Like any type of perspective based on you creating just shit and just being like, fuck, I can't get back to this fucking point in time. You got to realize your perspective on that. Make that your perspective.
For sure.
Otherwise, Samsara is a very fucking beautiful philosophy of meditation and like, personal aptitude. It's making thousands and thousands of hours with multiple people on one thing and just erasing it, just completely blowing it away in the wind.
Sure.
Yep.
So wait, I'm a little confused.
on that
I was
note-
thinking of Samskara. Sorry, real fast. I want him to explain it a little more.
I think it might be the same thing we're thinking of. So like it's the whole. Is it Samskara?
Well, no,
PA Samskara. Samsara.
It's Samsara.
Okay,
Samskara
cool.
is Android Jones's
You're right.
Dome tour.
Cool.
And I think it's based off the concept of
Right.
Samsara. But was that with like the monks who make the sand art
The
and
sand
then just
art,
blow
yeah,
it away?
and then they just wipe
Yeah.
away. Correct.
Oh, dope,
That's
yeah.
the most baseline form of Samsara. Yeah,
That's a
but it is.
beautiful
I
philosophy.
think it's Hindu or fucking Buddhist like philosophy. It's just
Yeah, that's kind of
whatever you do in the place time being, as long as you're gratuitous for it, and no matter if it gets blown away or erased, it doesn't matter as long as you have fun.
right.
At least you enjoy the ride.
We kind of take
Great for
that
that. Fuck the dead. Sorry.
here on this show. We kind of take that in an educational direction
Hell yeah.
with production in terms of we tell people to kill their babies.
Yeah, eat your vegetable. Oh no, eat your school. Don't do vegetables.
Nope.
Kill people, burn shit, fuck school.
Yeah,
right?
something like
Nope.
that.
No,
It's
not
basically
quite?
like you got to be able to say "fuck you" to a track you made. You got to be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I made this thing. It sucks. Die."
At least
Next
you can
one.
use it as archive. Don't scorch earth it completely.
For sure. Like I haven't deleted anything, but like I don't like go back to anything when something's like not good, or I make a new track that's like better, and I'm like, oh, now I can incorporate all the things I wanted to incorporate
Yeah.
Right.
before or
Can't
whatever.
be
Like
attached.
always forward, never
Yep.
backwards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I like
We almost have the bane of philosophical existence as
kill you-
producers.
Right.
You get this fucking time capsule of regrets and not necessarily regrets, but past iterations.
right,
You get stuck on that shit.
but you have to
Use
like,
everything
it's-
as a tool though.
It's taken a lot of effort. Oh no, like everything you have to learn from, but there's so many
I mean, even just presets and shit.
giant humps. Yeah,
I
giant
made this
humps.
cool ass bass this one time. Pull it over.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just like giant leaps and jumps that I've made as a producer where I like can look back. I'm like, oh yeah, I was planning on like releasing those and like working on those. I'm so glad I just fucking moved on.
Yeah.
Like, and those tracks
Yeah.
are like 4 years old, and now I've come like just generations
Yeah.
since then.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
just like, oh my God, thank God I destroyed those. Like, I'm glad they're there because they were stepping stones, but it's like, I didn't need to complete them. They're fine. They're just whatever. They're like, who cares? I'm like, the one I'm going to make tomorrow is probably going to be better than the one I'm stoked on right now. And then the one I want to make next week is going to piss all over these.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to keep making them.
It's
then
almost more fun to like approach it from a more like macro kind of scale of like, I'm going to make a bunch of all of these same kind of tracks.
Uh-huh. Right.
Now
like,
that I have made all those shitty tracks, I can now actually like focus it and make like an actual like consumable
product.
bunch of things
Right.
that all make sense together and like
100%.
But you can't really do that until you've killed like fucking 400 babies.
shit tons.
Like so many.
Shit tons.
I thought of a good metal track the other day. It's Stillbirth Charcuterie.
What the fuck, Dylan?
On that note,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
I'll leave you actually with one piece of
Wow.
wisdom. You
Please
think
do.
that the tracks you're creating in this current time ever relate more to the circumstance of how your brain is actually, vibing and vibing being a very general fucking term for it, but how you're gestating these tracks? Do you think they sound better to you at the time being because you are where you are in this place and time versus where you are back in time?
Oh, yeah.
I think
Of course, you're going to learn new, techniques, knowledges. You're going to have new presets, new samples. You're going to have all these new utilities to be able to craft your art as creative expressionists. But do you think that it only sounds better because of your current perspective on how you're creating this track?
It sounds better because my current knowledge base of like how sound works
For sure.
and my ears
Right,
having
I was gonna say
adjusted to
that.
time and
Gotcha.
My ears
Learning.
growing.
Do
Yeah.
you think that's
But there's
context
still an
sensitive, or do you
emotional-
think that's no, just like context sensitive, physicality?
I do think it is
emotional,
context
sure.
sensitive. I don't think it's all context, but I do think it is context
so
sensitive.
not purely knowledge driven. So
Yeah, no.
like basically what you are as a physicality and a mentality right now in this current place and time. Do you think that has any kind of bias on it?
100%.
On the
Yes,
way I
100%.
listen to it, yeah, probably.
For sure.
Yeah.
100%. I can see how it wouldn't, because all the
And then that's why in
Might
the
actually
future, when
sleep
you
tonight.
listen back
Like-
to a song, you have a whole different, like,
if I
you've lived 2 whole days.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry,
right.
Caleb.
no, you good. I was just gonna say, if I could have a copy of myself who's never produced,
Oh,
like
yeah.
never took this path, and he was listening to like this music or whatever,
Oh.
probably have a totally different view on it or whatever. Or maybe he'd be
Yeah.
stoked. He'd be like, "Whoa, this is crazy as fuck," and I'd be like, "This sucks. What are you all
Right.
talking about?" I don't know,
Right.
but I definitely do think that
There's some play in it.
yeah, there's
I mean,
some play.
I've shown music to people before that aren't me, and you can kind of get a pretty good amount of judgment just
Right.
based on that.
That's not you.
based
though.
on their body
Like I'm talking about
language.
personal perspective as the producer, the creatives.
oh,
Right? Does it play a role?
there's
in
obviously
general?
bias in general,
100%.
right.
There is
All
a lot of
over
bias
the
unaccounted
place.
for. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's
but
why
they're
I,
still shit.
No, for sure. I mean,
They're also shit.
negation from fidelity. I still listen to a lot of my tracks back in, and I almost like start to tear up just because it's a place holding in time.
Totally.
my
Right,
memories,
right. That's what I
my-
like
my
more,
fucking
yeah.
expressions. Yeah.
right.
I will
'Cause
feel
I've
very
integrated
emotional
this
about.
But-
so much. Yeah.
No one else gets that.
They don't need to hear that.
Right,
Awful
and I think
fucking shit.
No one else
feel-
gets to hear it.
I can cry in my bedroom by myself.
Yes. And maybe other producers.
My Game Informer's mom.
I'm like totally okay with showing other producers, like if we want to have a hangout session,
For
but like
sure.
show me some old shit so that you can just kind of see
That's
the
like a good
progression.
time, yeah.
But only other producers kind of really, or maybe other artists in general, people who understand the grind
I think
can
it's
like,
the attention.
sure. But like it's hard to really like grasp what,
The propensity.
yeah,
the thresholds,
yeah, like what it is.
What
but,
actually went into it.
But that definitely like plays a huge role.
I think so.
Yeah.
So I'd say never discredit yourselves.
No. But I keep it in check with
Progression, onward and forward.
and no bullshit. It's like if this does not vibe, destroy it for 10 hours to see if it can vibe. But anyway, if it cannot vibe, just make a new one.
For sure.
But I also always keep myself with like 4 projects.
Yeah.
I'm always like running through like a currency of like 4 to 3 tracks that I'm like working on so that I finish one and
Concentrated.
or get one kind of close to finish and I'm like, yeah, I got to start a new one.
Yep.
Just start a new one and then they
Yeah.
like
Slip that in there.
slowly, yeah. And then the ones that don't make it, I don't care.
Yep.
I'm just like, whatever, that one didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
For the reason that it didn't make it.
Yeah. It was weak.
Yeah, it was weak. The strong prevail.
Not enough milk.
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest, huh?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Okay.
ruthless with my tracks.
I know.
Pretty
Yeah,
fucking
you
ruthless.
two are insane about it.
Because I want the absolute best.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I want to destroy worlds.
So what if you
It's got
get
some
stuck in some?
neo-fascist
What if you
vibe,
get
too.
stuck in some weird thought loop though, where you just think it's always going to be better and you're never satisfied? Then you're in some
Sure,
fucked up feedback
sure.
loop of like artist hell.
But that's why I have people like you around.
And I'm like, oh, this one actually sounds
Right,
cool.
right. I use your barometer all the time. That's why I bring you down here. I'm like, this is vibe, and you're like, oh no, this is cool. I'm like, okay.
I mean,
cool.
even if
Yeah.
you're
It has
in a
feet.
vacuum of space, though, you got to realize where the checks and balances are.
For
I
sure.
think it's healthy to set like your own parameters.
Your own
Your
poem
own
would just-
parameter.
Oh my gosh.
You heard it from Dylan.
No, I think it's important to set your own thresholds and parameters as a producer, where you want to, achieve binary versus where you want to, thrive it out into something.
What about
greater as far
ratio
as
though?
art.
Would you set your own ratio? You let your mom set your ratio?
Usually it's 6
Is
to
there
9,
like a
but
threshold
it depends on if it's a 4 to
situation on
20. I really like a very strict cue on that. I'm serious. I got a bad time.
Any look ahead
Look ahead as
for
far
the
as,
fans? Yeah, any look
for
ahead on that?
myself?
Yeah, for yourself.
Is when I'm driving home out the windshield. I'm just
10
getting-
milliseconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, look.
No, getting my latency down. Fucking Christ.
And release time. How long do you give yourself to just stew in it until you? Going to
We're asking a lot of questions right here. We're right at the end of the show.
Right at the end. Yeah.
We're really cramming them.
Yeah,
in.
we're
This
like
is-
15 minutes
this is
over.
the speed round, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, right.
Daily double. Blah, 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 blah.
Rapid fire questions. Could you imagine?
Honestly, I'm just going to continue to thrive. I'm not really going to set any strict release dates. I've been doing a lot of commission
That's
work,
the
just
best.
trying
dude.
to.
That's the best.
No, I'm trying to further my own education on nice.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to further my own education as far as a whole digital realm goes. There's still so much to be plucked out on the surface. I've been doing a lot of analog commission work. I'm doing a bluegrass album. Shout out to my man Candler English. I'm doing
shout out.
He's probably not watching right now.
I don't
but,
give a fuck.
Shout out
yo,
Candler.
Shout out.
Dude.
He's given me a 12 album bluegrass kind of alternative rock album to mix through.
I bet it's gonna be kind of fun, actually.
Right.
I don't even like bluegrass, but I'd probably have fun.
It's a nice little breath of fresh air for sure. It gives me a little bit more opportunity to spread my wings as an analog recording engineer. And
Let's go.
yeah,
And like, I bet it's gonna be a fun exercise for the ears.
yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
It is a lot less taxing on
Yeah,
listening
you go
to,
away from the releases and yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been nice. I'm pretty much just trying to do analog jobs and further. I have a lot of stuff in the background that I'm hoping to get out as when time dictates. But
Hell yeah, dude.
that is what it is. I got
Well,
no
sick.
promises to anybody. You under promise and over deliver. That's how I've been living a happy life and low expectations. At
Cool.
This point,
Well,
so.
I mean, if you want to be found, you can shout out to people here on the internet where they can find you.
The dark web. I am
Okay.
for sale. $500. No deals,
sounds
bro.
about right.
2 for $20.
God
Folks,
damn it,
that
Dylan.
means if you want to find him, you've got to come here.
I mean, mostly, yeah, that as well.
Awesome.
You can just email me if you're interested in hearing my music right now.
You can fax him.
You can fax me
know?
too. Hit me up on AOL, AIM. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
My email is going to be audio.doct3r@gmail.com. Email me.
Very good. Thanks, guys. We love you.